You finally saved up for the ultimate summer getaway, packed your bags, and headed for paradise. But local lawmakers have quietly rigged your dream vacation with a hidden minefield of absurd, logic-defying rules. Today, we are exposing 50 ridiculous summer laws that can instantly turn your relaxing trip into a massive financial nightmare. Protect your travel budget and listen closely. 1. Myrtle Beach strictly prohibits using public restrooms to change into your swimsuit. You must arrive at the sand already wearing your summer gear. If you try to swap your street clothes for a bikini in a city pavilion, you are actually committing a municipal crime. The law supposedly stops sand from ruining the public plumbing, but it mostly creates an incredibly awkward situation for honest tourists. Are you really prepared to do that weird towel dance in a blazing hot parking lot just to avoid a ridiculous citation on your very first day? 2. A rustic summer camping trip in Yosemite National Park comes with extremely aggressive food storage regulations. Federal park rangers make it a severe criminal offense to leave your plastic drink cooler unattended for even 5 minutes. The local wildlife includes black bears that will happily destroy your campsite for a cheap hot dog. If an armed ranger spots a lonely cooler sitting on your picnic table, they will instantly issue a heartbreaking federal fine. The park absolutely refuses to let lazy summer tourists turn wild bears into junk food addicts. 3. Local authorities in Gulf Shores, Alabama, have declared war on ambitious sandcastles. Municipal laws firmly prohibit digging any hole on the public beach deeper than 12 inches. The rule was originally enacted because craters left behind by tourists were swallowing up nesting sea turtles and snapping the ankles of nighttime beach walkers. You must keep your architectural dreams incredibly small. A simple afternoon of building a sandy fortress with your kids can unexpectedly end with a very angry local cop writing you a ticket. 4. A classic 4th of July beach barbecue in Florida comes with a highly enforced municipal trap. Local coastal laws firmly prohibit setting up any personal grill outside of heavily regulated, government-approved cooking zones. You cannot simply drop a tiny charcoal cooker next to your towel on the beautiful white sand. If a vigilant park ranger spots unauthorized smoke, they will sprint toward your sizzling burgers like a massive national security threat. Enjoying a charred summer hot dog will instantly trigger a financial penalty. 5. Everyone knows you cannot drive a speedboat after downing margaritas, but Florida extends this strict law directly to your surfboard. Law enforcement can actually hit you with a massive citation for surfing under the influence. If you stumble out of an oceanfront bar and try to fiercely ride the waves on a fiberglass board, you are treated as a dangerous maritime threat. The sheer comedy of a local deputy administering a breathalyzer test to a dripping wet tourist in a wetsuit is absolutely undeniable. The state effectively treats a piece of buoyant foam as a motor vehicle. 6. Fresh watermelon is the ultimate staple of any July picnic, but you better maintain a firm grip on it in Hammond, Indiana. Throwing this specific fruit is strictly prohibited by city law. It does not matter if you are playfully tossing it to a friend across the park or angrily launching it into a nearby lake. Turning a melon into a flying projectile is a legal offense. The police absolutely will not laugh at your food fight. It is honestly not worth risking a hefty fine just to see how incredibly satisfying a watermelon explosion looks. 7. The joyful jingle of a colorful ice cream truck is the ultimate symbol of a hot summer afternoon, but New York City heavily restricts that childhood nostalgia. Municipal noise codes formally dictate that food trucks cannot play their iconic music while the vehicle is actually parked. The driver is legally required to shut off the catchy tunes the exact second they stop to serve a frozen popsicle. The city council created this rule to protect locals from hearing the same robotic melody for hours. The familiar sound of summer is now fiercely regulated by city bureaucrats. 8. Ocean City, Maryland, has zero tolerance for your impromptu beach naps. If you doze off on the sand between 10 at night and 6 in the morning, police officers will wake you up and issue a formal citation. The city designed this law to clear the area for massive street sweepers and prevent the shoreline from becoming an unregulated summer campground. Do not let a romantic, peaceful evening under the stars turn into a harsh criminal trespass charge simply because you forgot to set a wake-up alarm while listening to the crashing waves. 9. Ever feel the overwhelming urge to hunt crustaceans with farm equipment? Do not even try it in Sarasota, Florida. The city holds a highly specific, bizarre ordinance that explicitly outlaws catching crabs with a pitchfork. It paints a truly terrifying picture of what local beachgoers were doing in the shallow Gulf waters before the government had to formally step in and protect the marine wildlife from angry, trident-wielding vacationers. Why would anyone pack heavy agricultural tools for a relaxing summer afternoon at the beach in the first place? 10. Free souvenirs from nature are a terrible idea if your summer vacation takes you to the islands of Hawaii. Taking a tiny jar of sand or a single lava rock home is a legal violation that can cost you upwards of $100,000 in state fines. The government ruthlessly protects its natural resources from sticky-fingered tourists. Beyond the sheer financial ruin, locals firmly believe stealing these items curses you with extreme bad luck until they are returned. Is a free jar of beach dirt really worth bankrupting your entire life? 11. You finally made it to Rehoboth Beach, but do not even think about turning your vehicle into a makeshift dressing room. Local laws explicitly prohibit anyone from changing clothes inside their car anywhere within city limits. It does not matter if your windows are heavily tinted, or you are doing incredible acrobatics in the back seat to stay hidden. The police can slap you with a fine just for wiggling out of your damp swimsuit. Would you risk a ticket, or are you driving all the way back to the hotel completely soaked in salty ocean water? 12. Entrepreneurial kids face brutal government crackdowns during their summer vacations across America. Police officers routinely shut down innocent neighborhood lemonade stands because the children lack an expensive commercial health permit. Cops have literally forced crying kids to pour their freshly squeezed juice into the gutter over strict bureaucratic codes. Several states eventually had to pass emergency legislation just to legalize a 10-cent cup of lemonade. Do you think we really need heavily armed law enforcement protecting us from unauthorized sidewalk beverages? 13. A casual game of catch on the beach in Los Angeles County is actually a highly regulated municipal activity. County code technically forbids throwing any ball or plastic frisbee on public beaches without prior permission from an official lifeguard. Local lawmakers literally decided that flying toys were a severe threat to unsuspecting sunbathers. Imagine receiving a criminal citation just because your buddy fumbled a pass in the sand. Do you genuinely want to interrupt a busy rescuer to ask for bureaucratic clearance just to play by the ocean? 14. Late-night beach walks on Hilton Head Island come with an extreme lighting restriction. It is a severe legal offense to shine a flashlight on the beach during the summer nesting season for sea turtles. The artificial light completely disorients the tiny hatchlings, leading them away from the ocean. Getting caught using your phone to find your lost sandals can result in devastating fines. You are legally required to stumble around in absolute darkness just to ensure the local wildlife makes it safely back into the Atlantic Ocean unharmed. 15. Florida offers incredible opportunities for summer scuba diving, but treating the local marine wildlife like an amusement park ride is a federal crime. It is strictly illegal to ride, grab, or hug a manatee. These gentle sea cows are heavily protected under the Endangered Species Act. Harassing them comes with a heart-stopping penalty of up to $50,000 and possible jail time. You have to wonder what kind of incredibly dense tourist actually looked at a massive wild sea mammal and decided it was a good idea to try and saddle it up. 16. Italian hotel pools enforce a strict fashion rule for your summer vacation. National health codes strictly demand that every single swimmer must wear a tight rubber swimming cap before touching the water. It does not matter if you have a perfectly shaved head or paid for a beautiful vacation blowout. If you refuse to trap your hair inside a suffocating silicone dome, aggressive lifeguards will ban you from the resort pool. The government successfully eradicated aesthetically pleasing poolside photos just to keep their filtration systems clean. 17. Traditional summer bonfires on the beach are completely dead across most of San Diego. The city government banned all open wood fires on the sand to protect coastal air quality. Tourists can no longer toss cheap firewood into a fire ring to roast evening marshmallows. You are legally required to purchase and operate a heavily regulated propane gas grill to enjoy an outdoor evening by the ocean. Heavily armed beach patrols will instantly extinguish any illegal wood flames and hand you a municipal citation for polluting the summer breeze. 18. An expensive all-inclusive resort in the Balearic Islands comes with a devastating summer surprise. The Spanish government passed a ruthless law to crush chaotic tourism, strictly limiting guests to just 6 alcoholic drinks per day. You only get 3 beers at lunch and 3 at dinner. If you want a cold cocktail while lounging by the luxury pool, you are legally forced to pay extra out of your own pocket. The authorities completely destroyed the unlimited summer party dream to keep the beautiful resort towns incredibly peaceful and heavily regulated. 19. Sudden summer thunderstorms are common in New York City, but if you rented a bicycle for Central Park, keep your umbrella closed. State law explicitly makes it illegal to ride a bike while holding an open umbrella. Lawmakers realized that trying to steer through chaotic city traffic with one hand while holding a giant windsail is a recipe for absolute disaster. You basically have to choose between getting completely soaked by the torrential summer rain or walking your bike like a defeated tourist while the locals laugh at your misfortune. 20. Tropical cruise vacations are incredibly relaxing, but your wardrobe choices could trigger a sudden military response. Several Caribbean nations, including Barbados and Jamaica, strictly forbid civilians from wearing any camouflage clothing. The government restricts this specific pattern entirely for their national defense forces. Local police will aggressively confront clueless tourists, confiscate their expensive shorts, and issue a harsh penalty. Leave those trendy military-style swim trunks safely at home if you want to avoid an international incident. 21. A cheap summer picnic on the glamorous Italian island of Capri is legally perilous if you pack the wrong supplies. The local mayor enacted an absolutely brutal ban on all single-use plastics across the entire island. Simply pulling a disposable water bottle or a cheap plastic fork from your beach bag will instantly result in a €500 fine. The government inspects tourist luggage at the busy ferry docks. You must completely overhaul your entire travel kit just to legally drink a simple glass of water on their pristine luxury beaches. 22. A quick nap on a boardwalk bench seems harmless, but Rehoboth Beach explicitly outlawed sleeping in public. Here is the completely unhinged part of the legislation. The written law also makes it a crime to merely pretend to be asleep. If you close your eyes to block out the harsh summer sun and simply relax, a bored police officer can legally issue you a formal ticket. How exactly does a local court prove that you were only faking a nap on a lazy July afternoon? It requires absolute mental gymnastics to enforce this bizarre municipal rule. 23. Shell hunting is a peaceful summer tradition, but doing it blindly on Sanibel Island can literally make you a poacher. Local laws heavily penalize tourists who take any shell that still contains a living creature. Dropping a live sand dollar or a tiny hermit crab into your plastic beach bucket comes with a brutal $500 penalty. Police aggressively monitor the shoreline to protect the delicate marine ecosystem. You must carefully inspect every single souvenir before walking away. Your supposedly free vacation memento could easily bankrupt your weekend getaway. 24. California pool parties come with one incredibly specific restriction if you happen to be visiting Baldwin Park. It is a formal municipal crime to ride a bicycle inside a swimming pool. You really have to wonder about the catastrophic chain of events that led a local council to formally ban underwater cycling. Was there a sudden epidemic of rogue BMX riders launching themselves into the deep end during a summer barbecue? It is exactly the kind of hyper-specific, utterly ridiculous rule that makes you want to immediately break it just to see what happens. 25. Sorrento has declared total war on tourists who treat their historic Italian streets like a pool party. The coastal town recently instituted a strict ban against walking anywhere in the city center wearing only a swimsuit. If you try to cross the street from the beach in just your swimming trunks or a bikini, local police will immediately ambush you with a brutal €500 fine. The mayor fiercely demanded that visitors show basic respect for the local residents by putting a shirt on before leaving the sand. Your quick gelato run could be very expensive. 26. Cooling off in a public pool or traditional hot spring during a sweltering Japanese summer requires a flawless complexion. The country maintains incredibly strict, widespread bans on allowing anyone with visible tattoos to enter public waters. The rule originated to keep organized crime syndicates out of family resorts, but it actively traps clueless Western tourists. Even a tiny innocent butterfly tattoo on your ankle can get you forcefully ejected by security. 27. A rugged summer camping trip to the Pacific Northwest requires you to leave your prehistoric hunting techniques safely at home. Washington state wildlife regulations clearly dictate that it is a punishable offense to catch a fish by throwing a rock at it. You are legally required to use a standard fishing line to secure your dinner. We have to wonder exactly how many uncoordinated tourists were furiously chucking heavy stones into a peaceful river before the local government was forced to officially intervene. The mental image of an angry camper pelting a trout with gravel is hilarious. 28. Tossing a French fry to a seagull is a bad habit, but Key West strictly forbids you from feeding their feral chickens. The popular Florida vacation hotspot is completely overrun by wild roosters roaming the vibrant streets. If you drop a piece of your expensive summer lunch to these incredibly loud birds, a local officer will quickly write you a ticket. The city is desperately trying to stop tourists from actively fattening up the noisy population and causing absolute chaos on the historic sidewalks. It requires massive self-control to simply ignore a begging rooster. 29. The brutal morning ritual of securing a shady spot on the sand just got harder, because dragging a massive pop-up canopy to the beaches of seaside Florida is strictly forbidden. The local government outright banned all oversized tents to stop tourists from claiming massive chunks of the shoreline for their extended families. If you try to stake down a luxurious, multi-room nylon fortress to escape the scorching August heat, beach patrols will force you to dismantle the entire operation. You must suffer in the sun like everyone else or settle for a tiny umbrella. 30. Rinsing the salt off your skin is the best feeling after a long beach day, but using soap at an outdoor public shower in California or Hawaii is a strict environmental crime. Those convenient rinsing stations drain directly back into the beautiful ocean. If a lifeguard catches you lathering up your hair with shampoo, you can be hit with a citation for actively polluting the delicate marine ecosystem. You are legally forced to endure that sticky, salty feeling during the entire car ride back to your hotel. Is clean hair really worth a fine? 31. A giant inflatable flamingo will get you in immediate trouble at Bethany Beach in Delaware. The town strictly outlaws using inflatable rafts, pool noodles, or cheap plastic floats in the ocean. Lifeguards will aggressively order you out of the water if you try to comfortably ride a bright pink floaty over the crashing waves. The local government claims the rule prevents clueless tourists from being swept out to sea by rip currents. Your heavily planned, aesthetic summer beach photo shoot will undeniably end with a very stern municipal lecture. 32. Epic summer water fights are officially canceled if you are vacationing in Nantucket, Massachusetts. The luxurious island enacted a total zero-tolerance ban on all water balloons. Local environmentalists pushed the law to prevent brightly colored latex scraps from choking the local marine life. If you fill up a bunch of balloons for a backyard barbecue ambush, local authorities can slap you with a heavy fine. You are legally forced to rely on expensive plastic water guns to soak your friends on a sweltering August afternoon instead. 33. Capturing incredible aerial footage of your summer vacation is impossible in Wildwood. The New Jersey beach town enacted a zero-tolerance ban against flying drones anywhere near the crowded shoreline. Lawmakers were deeply concerned about heavy plastic drones crashing into innocent sunbathers and completely violating the privacy of families relaxing by the ocean. If you launch a camera into the sky to film the beautiful crashing waves, police will immediately track you down and confiscate your expensive electronics. Your cinematic vacation vlog will definitely remain unfinished. 34. Personal watercraft are a classic summer thrill, unless you visit San Juan County in Washington state. The entire region completely outlawed jet skis across all of their marine waters. Lawmakers banned the popular summer machines to protect the hearing and communication of the local killer whale pods. If you somehow smuggle a motorized water scooter into the bay, maritime police will intercept you immediately. Your dream of aggressively jumping ocean waves at high speed is completely dead in this beautiful coastal vacation town. 35. Those overpriced boardwalk fries in Ocean City, New Jersey, must be protected at all costs. The local government is so tired of aggressive birds attacking innocent vacationers that they made feeding seagulls completely illegal. Police can hand you a staggering $500 citation just for tossing a single piece of bread onto the sand. The town even hires professional falconers to actively intimidate the local flock. You must viciously guard your delicious summer snacks, or easily risk paying a luxury dinner price just for dropping a fry. 36. The ultimate luxury of sipping a cold drink while sitting on the pristine white sand is totally illegal in Boracay. After a massive environmental rehabilitation project, the local government outlawed all eating and drinking directly on the famous shoreline. If you bring a simple bag of potato chips or a hidden soda to your beach towel, patrolling environmental officers will hit you with a harsh penalty. They completely refuse to let sloppy summer tourists ruin their newly cleaned paradise. You must retreat back to the concrete pathways just to take a sip of water. 37. Florida state parks heavily restrict where you can actually hang a comfortable summer hammock. It is strictly illegal to attach any nylon ropes or heavy straps directly to their iconic palm trees. Rangers rigorously enforce this rule because the rough straps can permanently damage the fragile bark and slowly kill the exotic tree. If you try to create a cozy reading spot by the ocean, you will be swiftly ordered to take it down. Relaxing in beautiful coastal nature suddenly requires incredibly specific and highly approved structural engineering. 38. You actually have to pay a daily admission fee just to stand on the sand in most New Jersey coastal towns. Purchasing a physical beach tag is legally required before you can even touch the ocean. Aggressive municipal badge checkers constantly patrol the shoreline. If they catch you sunbathing without a tiny piece of plastic pinned to your favorite swimsuit, they will forcefully write you a ticket and eject you. Imagine saving up for an expensive summer trip, only to discover that nature itself has a heavily policed VIP cover charge. Should the ocean be free? 39. Amateur treasure hunters need to leave their equipment at home when visiting a national seashore. The National Park Service completely bans the use of metal detectors anywhere on their protected coastal lands. They protect historical artifacts and undisturbed natural habitats from bored summer tourists. Getting caught sweeping the sand for lost quarters can result in confiscated electronics and terrifying federal charges. Is finding a rusty, worthless key really worth the risk of completely ruining your relaxing vacation? 40. Seaside Heights. In New Jersey will forcefully shut down your portable beach party in an instant. The town council enacted a strict ordinance completely banning loud Bluetooth speakers on the sand. If your curated summer playlist can be heard from more than 50 feet away, code enforcement officers will issue an immediate citation and can even confiscate your expensive electronics. You basically have to wear headphones if you want to enjoy some summer tunes without offending the heavily armed local noise patrol officers pacing the boardwalk. 41. Forget grabbing last-minute SPF before hitting the Sunday waves in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Archaic blue laws technically make it a criminal offense for any shop to sell suntan oil before noon on a Sunday. You either have to pre-plan your weekend skincare routine flawlessly, or you are legally required to just roast under the scorching morning sun until the clock finally strikes 12. It is absolutely wild that the local municipal government essentially mandated weekend sunburns just to honor a bizarrely outdated religious statute from a bygone era. 42. A soft cotton towel placed directly on the beautiful white sand of Pelosa Beach is treated as a major environmental crime. The local government in Sardinia mandates that tourists must place a stiff straw mat underneath their blanket. Authorities discovered that wet cotton traps way too much precious sand, slowly destroying the iconic shoreline when visitors pack up. If coastal guards catch you breaking this hyper-specific layering rule, you will immediately face a fine. Who knew beach lounging required such advanced structural engineering? 43. Cruising down the sunny Miami Beach boardwalk on rollerblades feels like an iconic scene straight out of a 90s summer movie. Unfortunately, local lawmakers have ruined that retro vibe. It is completely illegal to wear roller skates or rollerblades on specific sections of the highly crowded coastal path. Authorities deemed the fast-moving skaters a physical hazard to thousands of slow-walking, sunburned tourists. You have to literally carry your heavy skates and walk on foot or face a swift ticket from a boardwalk cop. 44. Your rental convertible on the beautiful coast of Spain comes with a highly enforced summer dress code. Local traffic police will issue a €200 fine if they catch you driving a car while wearing flip-flops or going shirtless. Authorities argue that loose sandals easily get dangerously stuck underneath the brake pedal, causing devastating coastal accidents. You must pack a dedicated pair of sturdy closed-toe shoes just for the steering wheel. Changing your footwear constantly every time you park at a new beach is incredibly annoying but legally necessary. 45. Romantic midnight walks along the shore sound like a wonderful summer memory, but the city of Benidorm violently disagrees. The municipality enforces a total lockdown on their sandy beaches between midnight and 7 in the morning. Anyone caught trespassing near the water during these hours gets slapped with a staggering €1,200 penalty. The city strictly reserves the night for their massive fleet of mechanical sand cleaners. You are legally forced to stay far away from the dark ocean unless you want to essentially fund the local cleaning budget. 46. We all know the unspoken rule about peeing in the ocean, but the Spanish city of Vigo actually made it a punishable municipal crime. The local council aggressively declared war on tourists relieving themselves in the Atlantic, instituting a €750 penalty for biological beach pollution. It remains entirely unclear how lifeguards are supposed to actively catch anyone committing this invisible underwater crime. 47. Walking along the beautiful shoreline often means dodging massive piles of washed-up ocean debris. However, if you visit the beaches of New Hampshire, do not attempt to clean up the sand yourself. State law explicitly makes it illegal to collect or remove seaweed from the public coastline at night. Lawmakers originally created this highly specific rule to protect farmers who legally harvested the nutrient-rich plants as natural fertilizer. Today, grabbing a handful of smelly kelp after sunset can technically trigger a citation from the Beach Patrol. 48. Your cheap street food lunch can instantly turn into a financial penalty in Italy. The historic city of Florence enforces a harsh summer snacking ban across their incredibly crowded central streets. It is a heavily fined municipal offense to sit on the sidewalks, church steps, or store curbs while eating a sandwich. The local mayor passed this strict rule to force massive tourist crowds to keep moving instead of blocking the busy pathways. You are legally required to stand up while chewing or pay for a highly overpriced restaurant table. 49. Wild horses freely roaming the Maryland coastline look incredibly majestic, but treating them like petting zoo animals is a federal mistake. The National Park Service violently enforces a strict 40-foot distance rule at Assateague Island. Clueless summer tourists constantly try to feed these feral ponies apples or sneak in for a perfect vacation selfie. If a park ranger catches you encroaching on their space, you will be handed a devastating fine. Keep your hands in your pockets because these beautiful beach horses are highly protected by federal law. All right, we have survived 49 ridiculous regulations, and there is only one left. But before we unveil number 50, it is time for our final verdict. In our opinion, the absolute dumbest rule on today's list belongs to Rehoboth Beach for criminalizing the act of pretending to be asleep. The government literally expects police to read your mind just to prove you faked a nap. Do you agree with this verdict, or did another insane law deserve the crown of supreme stupidity? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And now, our final entry. 50. A cooler full of cold beer for a sunny California beach day sounds perfect, but it will instantly ruin your trip to San Diego. The city strictly outlawed the consumption of any alcohol on their public beaches and coastal parks. Clueless vacationers often assume a hidden red cup is perfectly fine, but undercover police patrol the sand looking for illegal beverages. Getting caught sipping a margarita by the ocean results in a harsh municipal citation. Your relaxing afternoon buzz will completely evaporate the second the beach cops heavily intervene. Summer vacations are supposed to be your ultimate escape, but local governments have clearly turned the map into a massive obstacle course of petty legal traps. Do not let a bored city council ruin your hard-earned time off. Which of these rules is most likely to ruin your summer? Drop your rebellious travel plans below, hit that subscribe button, and stay safe out there.